chun keen or nach rawan.
Thanks for having us in your van here.
Fan of love.
It's beautiful.
Since the last record, things have kind of stepped up a gear, you know, from the external perception of you guys as a band. Is that true from the inside?
Well, for us, it's weird. We always kind of feel like we're just kind of doing the same thing. Like the daily routine doesn't change. You know, we're touring, recording, and it's even though maybe the records have gotten bigger or the shows have gotten bigger, for us the kind of way we operate hasn't changed much.
2 years ago when we played Oxegen, we only had one album and at most like a 50-minute set, and you know, we were playing tents and stuff. But now with the second album out, we've moved up to the main stage and we're playing longer. So yeah, it's a little more. I wouldn't say pressure, but it's just like a little bit of higher stakes when you kind of have a lot more people that you're playing for and that are out there at this festival trying to have a good time.
And what are the main differences musically in terms of performance and the songs you play, or the order between, say, your own headline show and somewhere on a festival bill?
Well, we have some songs that are very quiet and kind of minimalist, and I mean, those are some of my favorite songs that we've ever made, but they don't always work in a festival setting. And like to us, you know, we play hundreds of shows a year, so the idea of maybe, like, you know, saving the ballads for the club show is okay with me. Like, I think especially when you're like on the main stage of a festival and it's like bright outside and like people want to dance and stuff, like that's not always the time to get into like you know.
I can't forget just how bad it gets when I'm counting on my...
Weird being a band that came from, you know, quite small, very kind of buzzy building beginnings to a pretty big deal. Do you think about that? Do you step back and think about, okay, we're quite giant now?
Well, I think we've always had kind of like a sense of humor about our success. We've never felt like particularly like entitled to it, I guess. Like, I mean, you know, we put so much pressure on ourselves even when nobody cared about us when we were recording our own album, just to make it as good as possible, that even when we made a second album and there were more eyes on us, it wasn't even possible to put any more pressure on ourselves. So I think if you start out and you're always like questioning yourself and judging your work and trying to make it the best you can be, it doesn't really matter how many people are looking at you. I think that within the band we listen to each other, and then outside of the band we listen to the people that we work with, and we listen to the fans. I mean, you know, it's nice, we get emails from fans all the time. Unfortunately, we can't write back to most of them, but you know, 95% of them are people who genuinely like our music, and sometimes they actually do have something constructive to say. And then like occasionally we get some crazy hate mail, but even that is kind of like, can sometimes be fun or give you some ideas. So it's a difficult balance, but I think it's all about just having open lines of communication.
Where is this going to go? How are we going to sustain a livelihood into the future?
Yeah, sometimes. But, well, here's the thing. I mean, our band started in 2006, so at that point we'd all been, you know, illegally downloading music for at least 7 years. So for us, you know, the idea of making lots of money selling records, I mean, that should be a distant dream for anybody in any era, but let alone, you know, growing up when we did. Like, the idea of making money selling music was not something that we felt like we could count on or that we should hope for. We've been lucky that people actually have bought our records. I think that's like the hugest compliment, that somebody would buy your record, because I know they don't have to.